Okay, get yourself ready for your restorative practice. Just have a blanket, something really comfortable, something really warm that you're going to lay on, just to give yourself that feeling of bed almost. So it's a good opportunity during the day to just really let go and release. Have a bolster underneath your knees, a couple of blocks for your feet. If you're wearing glasses, it's good to take them off. Or I haven't put my microphone on, just bear with me. Yeah. Have a folded blanket for underneath your head. Just make sure it's kind of as evenly folded as you can get it. And make sure that you're going to be warm enough, so have a blanket as well. So have the bolster underneath your knees, blocks underneath your feet, and then cover yourself up for warmth. Lay yourself down onto the mat and just enjoy these first couple of moments. Make sure that the blanket is underneath the back of your neck and your head, and allow the body to completely release. So it's always nice, these first couple of minutes, just to enjoy this feeling of release that laying on the floor after a day's work brings to the body and the mind. Just feel where the body makes contact with the floor. Cover your eyes for darkness if you are in a light room. Allow a little weight on your eyes with a yoga pillow, an eye pillow if you have one, just to help the body release and quieten. Consciously release the muscles of your arms and your legs. Unhooking the muscles in the arms and the legs so that you can land heavily on the floor. Allow the body to become heavy on the ground. And out of that heaviness, enjoy the sensation of lightness that radiates from the bones. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet and allow the soles of the feet to completely relax. Feel the skin soften and the flesh soften and the muscle release from the bone. Feel that you relax into the bones of the sole of the foot. Keep pushing your breath into the soles of the feet. Draw your attention into the tops of your feet. Feel the tops of the feet, feel the skin. Feel the skin and the muscle. Feel the skin and the muscle and the flesh. And allow the flesh and the muscle and the skin to completely relax. To almost come away from the bone. Relax into the bones. Relax into the bones of the top of the feet. Draw your attention into the shins. Draw your attention into the shins and the shin skin and the shin bone and the muscles and the flesh between the skin and the bone. And then consciously relax the fronts of the shins into the backs of the shins. Letting the front of the shins sink into the back of the shin. And consciously relax the shins into the bolster and into the blocks. Allow the shins to completely sink into the bed of the calf muscle, letting the skin relax around the fronts of the shins. Draw your attention into the knees. Draw your attention into your thighs, feeling the fronts of the thighs sink into the backs of the thighs, bringing your attention into the skin and the flesh and the bone. Allow the fronts of the thighs to completely release into the floor, letting the legs completely relax. Relax the thighs and the knees and the fore and the lower legs, and then allow your attention to drive into the pelvis and into the abdomen. Draw your attention into the pelvis and the abdomen, and with an out breath allow the pelvic region and the abdomen to sink into the floor. Relaxing the abdomen and the pelvis and drawing your attention into the chest cavity. As you inhale, feel that the chest rises upwards and outwards, and as you exhale, the chest lowers to the floor. Draw your attention into the upper chest, and with an exhalation allow the muscles around the chest to completely release. With an exhalation, allow the muscles around the chest to completely soften. Consciously draw your attention into your shoulders. Draw your attention into the shoulders and into the upper arms. Just letting the attention become completely released, completely passive. As you exhale, relax the upper arms and the lower arms and the fingertips. Relax the arms all the way down into the fingertips. And then draw your attention into the throat. Consciously soften any areas of tension that you might have. Soften the neck, soften the muscles around the neck, and soften the throat. Just allowing the body to completely surrender to the straight line of the floor. Give yourself permission to relax. Give yourself permission to be here. Relax the muscles of the neck. Relax the skin and the muscle around the skull. Relax the neck and soften the muscles around the face. Soften the muscles of the face and the facial wear an entirely neutral expression. Just allowing the body to completely release into the ground so that the physical body becomes light on the inside. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wiggle your toes. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and then bring your feet onto the bolster. Have the feet apart and the knees together. Just resting your lower back into the floor. And then gently roll onto your side. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into cross legs, just observing your energy for a moment or two. Just listening to the breath. Okay, we're going to do our side lying stretch. So get a bolster. I always find oblong bolster is better than a tubular one for this, but you can still use a tubular bolster as well. Get a block for your head, have a blanket on top of the block, and you've got some space for your shoulder to come in between the bolster and the block. So you're just going to bend your knees. Just bend your knees like this. Just let your and sit close to the bolster, but not right on top of it. And then you're going to lengthen yourself out. The bolster is going to come into the armpit, chest region. Rest your head on the block and the blanket, and then extend your arm over your ear, and then just rest into the pose from here. So the bolster is just in the armpit, chest. So just feel that you can really release into the floor. If there's stiffness in your shoulders, you can put an extra block underneath your hand. Otherwise, just let the body relax into the ground. So this is a really good one for stiff shoulders. Just bring in energy and flexibility into stiff shoulders. So as you know, as we progress into the sequence, I'll speak less and less so that you can just concentrate on relaxation rather than listening. Okay, bring the top arm back onto your hip and then push the bottom elbow into the floor. Push yourself up into cross legs. Just observe your energy. And then just sit yourself onto the other hip. Bending your knees again. And again, stretching yourself out along the bolster, so the bolster is in the armpit chest, resting your head onto the block, resting the bottom elbow just down onto the floor, and then extend your arm over your head. Just release into the floor. As you inhale, feel that you can breathe evenly into both lungs, not just the top lung, although you do get a nice stretch in the intercostal muscles between the ribs with that facing rib cage, but aim to breathe evenly into both lungs as much as you can. Okay, bring the top arm back onto the hip. Push the bottom elbow into the floor and then push yourself up into a seated position. Just cross legs with your hands on your knees, just observing your energy, observing how the body feels after a prolonged stay. And then we're going to do a little inversion. So get a chair, or you can just have a stool or something. A chair for your legs and a blanket for underneath your head. And you're just going to sit directly onto the floor and then just bring your feet and the backs of your legs, backs of your calves onto the chair, and then just shuffle yourself in. So if you can wrap yourself up in a blanket, it holds you into position. And then you can just either rest your arms over to the sides of the body, or what's really nice is if you rest your arms over your head. Just have the hands in connection and let the armpits open up. So arms over your head, just resting on the floor. And allow the body to gently release. So this is a nice supported inversion. So this is a quietening pose when the others have been quite energizing poses. The last pose was an energizing pose. So we've done minimal poses, but poses that bring energy and now balance of calmness to the body and to the mind. So our long held poses really do have quite a profound effect on our energy. We open up the body using our restorative poses and our energy really transforms. Just listen to the sound of the in-breath, the sound of the out-breath, just enjoying the release into the floor. Okay, when you're ready, just bend your knees and bring your knees in toward your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side and then roll onto your side. Onto your right side, stay down for a breath or two. And then straightening out the top leg, come back up into the cross leg position. Again, just observing how your energy has balanced itself out. And then just move the chair out of the way and then get the bolster for underneath your knees, the folded blanket for underneath your head. Just for the last couple of minutes in our going back to our basic relaxation pose. So the bolster underneath the knees, folded blanket underneath your head, and just allow yourself to completely release into the floor. So a sequence of relatively minimal poses, well, very minimal poses, but just bringing relaxation into the body from the core of the muscles. Let the body be heavy on the ground. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. And feel your energy radiating from the bones and into the muscles. Just feel the energy radiating from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. Radiating from the bones and into the muscles, the organs, and the flesh and the skin. Just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Just bringing yourself back into the pose of Shavasana. And then bend your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg. Come back up into the seated position. Just final cross legs with your hands in the masti. Just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose, down into the abdomen. be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice. A good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions, the forward bends and the twists, or we didn't do any twists actually, just the reclining poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside, and then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And then when you're ready, gently raise your head and allow your eyes to softly open. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy and given yourself some good positive energy to put into the evening. So thank you very much for joining me.